This is episode number 246 of the Homeowners Show. Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett, and here with me is Craig Williams.
Hello, and welcome to the Homeowners Show. We're so glad you could join us for a long overdue episode.
No doubt about that.
Welcome back, Kevin.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's maybe been a moment or two.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's been a weird month. It's been a weird couple of months.
It's been a weird couple of months. Yeah.
So anyway, let me tell you something that's really weird. You want to hear this?
I do.
So,
I mean, maybe. I'll cut you off if it gets old.
I'm not going to go into why most people in the world have not heard about it, but you and I know that recently, at this point, whenever the podcast is actually coming out, unless you're watching it live right now, less than a week ago, there was a mass shooting real close to us.
Right.
You heard about this.
I think so.
Right? So the long story is not what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you the short story. So the short story is there was a guy outside shooting in his front yard.
In your neighborhood?
In not my neighborhood, in a neighborhood.
In a neighborhood.
Not too far from here. And shooting a gun, which is illegal and very loud.
Okay.
And so the next door neighbor goes over and says, "Hey, you're being really loud. My kid's trying to sleep."
Is it night?
We got people over. No, it's in the afternoon.
Okay.
We got some people over.
Taking a nap. Got it.
Kid's taking a nap. Toddler type kid. Or a baby. I don't even know, actually. Small child. And the guy went nuts. Goes over to the house and starts shooting.
Really?
Shoots a guy's wife. Kills her. Shoots his son, 9 years old. And the son eventually dies. And then shoots 3 other ladies that were there as well. And very likely would have, from what I understand at least, got the baby as well. But there were like ladies laying on top of the baby, protecting the baby. And so then he took off. Like they couldn't find him. And there was like 200 officers looking for him at one point.
Is that the guy that they captured here?
Yeah. They just captured him recently.
Okay, I knew that they captured...
He was hiding out at a family member's house.
Yeah.
And one of like his cousin or something turned him in. But the guy that went over and told him to stop shooting did all the electrical work on my mother-in-law's house.
Seriously?
Yeah, the one that we just finished like a couple months ago.
So did he kill him?
No, he didn't kill him. He killed his wife, who's been over at our house, killed the son, who's played around in my yard. And
that's crazy.
I know. Absolutely nuts.
So was he not there or something?
No, he was. No, he walked over to the guy and was like, "Hey, stop shooting." And
Well, did he shoot him?
No, he didn't. He walked over and shot up his family.
Well, so where was he though?
While
they were shooting his family.
I mean, from what I know, he was, I guess, like trying to call the cops, trying to. I don't know.
Jeez,
I don't know what was going on, but like it was heartbreaking whenever I found out. For all the reasons, but I mean, I'm reading a news story
about somebody that
about
you know.
someone,
yeah.
and I'm
it is
seeing
different when it's somebody that you know, yeah.
Right? And I'm seeing the pictures of him just bawling his eyes out. They're doing these vigils and stuff, and like I don't know, man. It was one of those deals. It's like this is a contractor that's been at my house, working on my mother-in-law's house, and now like his family's just decimated.
Well, they're gone.
They're gone. I mean, it's absolutely. It's nuts. So the guy was a Mexican national of some sort that was shooting.
I did see that on the news. Yeah, he was,
and they were from Honduras, just trying to make a life for themselves.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, so I mean, man, the world, but most people didn't hear about that one, the mass shooting of a Honduran by a Mexican national.
I mean, I've seen different bits and pieces of it in news. I just hadn't connected them all together as the same story.
Yeah.
Because I knew that they caught him here.
Mm-hmm.
Did that shooting happen?
It happened out in like the cut and shoot area.
Cut and shoot. Okay.
Yeah. So happened out in that area, and they were I don't know exactly where they caught him, but in a similar area they caught him, yeah, so they've actually arrested some of the other people.
Yeah, they arrested the people who were like hiding him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
which they should have, obviously. But they had $100,000 reward out for him. One of them was like, "I'm going to get that reward," and like, nah, it didn't really work that way, buddy,
because you were harboring
him.
Yeah,
so it doesn't really work that way. Sorry, I'm hoping. No.
Yeah, we're not going to add to your bail fund.
Right. Well, so that's the other thing. He has a bail set.
What?
Yes.
No.
Now, yes, it's $7.5 million, but it doesn't matter how much it is. The fact that they have a bail set for him.
That's stupid.
I mean, he's obviously a flight risk.
Yes.
And like I was watching one of the Facebook pages that is in our area, kind of a community Facebook page. It's got tens of thousands of people in it. And there was a lot of people in the area that were genuinely scared. They were like, we got to find, he's at large until yesterday.
Yeah.
And they were like, we have no idea. Is he going to come back? Like, what's going to happen? Is he going to be on a rampage again? Like, they were genuinely scared, obviously. And
yeah, because once you cross that threshold, I mean, what do you have to lose?
Exactly. No, you're fighting for your life as well.
Yeah.
Because the likelihood of, you running and, police getting you or whatever. But like, they set bail?
That makes no sense to me.
What in the world?
We need to find out what this judge's name and put him on notice.
Right.
Or her on notice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
So anyway, that's a terrible story. Sorry to start off that way, but like it's really kind of hit me in a bad way because like I said, that kid's been over at my house running around and his wife, and they were young.
So sad.
Yeah, so sad. Anyway.
Man.
How are you, Craig?
I'm
sorry.
Yeah, I'm okay considering.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Things could be a lot worse.
Yeah, they could be a lot worse. So, even though the show has gone on despite us.
Thankfully. Thankfully. They don't need us.
That's right. The intern Rizzler was handling stuff out at the moonshine deck, and John Havard jumped in and handled the show like a pro.
Well, of course he did.
Yeah, he did great. I don't know. Have you gotten to watch the whole thing yet?
No, not the whole thing even. I mean, I've been so busy I haven't even watched our own show.
Yeah, he did a great job. And then Ashley Wade Klein, who was a guest on the show, like a little short 15-minute episode, she ended up winning the Lutron gift package.
We finally got rid of that thing. No, but it was a good package.
It was a fantastic package.
It had like tons of switches in it. And
well, I got to tell you, so at that event, I did get to go to the end of that event. I wasn't on the show.
Yeah.
I forget what I think I had like a baseball game or something.
Yeah, right.
That's been crazy, by the way.
Yeah.
We had our last game last night.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Did you win?
We did.
Oh, congrats.
13-0.
That's a large margin, Craig.
Well, so we can talk about that.
Did they have all their players on the field?
They did.
Okay.
They did have all their players on the field. No, my boys were a little ramped up to win that one because they were irritated because it was actually a replay, but we had to pick up from where we left off.
Oh. And
when we left off, we were up 9-0. They're like, "Why are we doing this?"
Right.
So they put it to them.
Yeah.
You gonna make us replay this thing? Fine.
Here's 4 more.
That's right. So anyway, the event was great. Ashley, what was cool about it is when we brought out the prize, what it was going to be that night.
Yeah.
There was a couple of companies there that are electricians.
Oh.
And they were like, "We want that."
Of course they did. Yeah,
we know how cool that stuff is. Uh-huh. We put them in for other people. Haven't been able to put them in for ourselves.
Right.
We want that Lutron stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. There's probably at least $250 worth of stuff there.
Oh, it was well more than that.
I mean, with all the switches, with the hub, we had outdoor switches. We had like dimmer switches that are like.
There was even like a repeater, like an extender, range extender for it. So that if you had like a bigger home, you could put something like that in.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I want to get to what we're talking about tonight because I think tonight's going to be fun.
For us.
Yes. I'm one bourbon in and looking to be two bourbon.
Okay.
And so we got to stick it to Angie's list tonight.
Yes, we do.
So here's what happened. I'm gonna peel back the curtain a little bit. For those of you who've been watching the show for a long time, you probably figured out by now, I own a pest control company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
We're 246 episodes in and we finally revealed something.
Well, like, after so many episodes of like people who come in that know what I do, that start asking me bug questions
That's true.
on air, and they're like, I imagine people are like, why do they keep asking him? So I own a pest control company, have for a long time now, and we do pretty good.
Yeah.
And so today I had the office phone and I got a sales call, which is not uncommon. Like we probably get like 10 sales calls a day.
Right.
We've learned, like we know who we want to work with. We know what we want. And so like most of the time, if there's something that we need, we're going to go find it.
Right.
Like sales calls just irritate us. So, but this guy was rather sneaky, called and left a message and said, "Hey, I heard you're the person I need to talk to about pest control. Give me a call back. I think I got something for you."
Okay.
So called him back, left him a message. He called me back this afternoon and says, "Hey man, do you guys do rodent work?" "Sure do. No problem. How can I help you?" And he's like, "Well, I think I've got a lead for you." And I'm like, "A lead for me?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm with Angie's List." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Like I've tried working with you guys before. It's just not a good fit for us, man. But thank you." And he goes, "Well, you couldn't use extra work?" And I'm like, "No, not really. Like we've kind of figured out how to generate our own leads. We do it pretty affordably. I'm really not interested in paying for leads." He goes, "Yeah, but you could use extra work, right?" And like keeps pressing me. And I'm trying to be polite. And I like politely say no. And I'm giving him every opportunity to get off. And I know that they're trained to not get, to try and keep you on the phone as long as possible. I know how this works. And he keeps going and keeps going. And I finally tell him, I'm like, "Look, man, do you want me to be honest with you? Like why I don't want to use your service?" And he's like, "Yeah, I need to know." I'm like, "Cool, great. Here you go. Your stuff's too expensive. Your leads are crap. The leads that come through never come through. I have to compete with them with other people. And like, why would I pay for something that I can create on my own that's actually better?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "You asked." And he's like, "Well, we've changed things since you've been with us before." And I was like, "I don't think you have."
Not from what I hear.
And I was like, "Do I still have to pay per lead?" "Yeah." I was like, "What's the fee to sign up?" And he's like, "Well," and he kind of, rambles on for a little bit. And I'm like, "So what is it going to cost me to sign up for this thing?" He's like, "Well, it's going to be like $280 a year."
Okay.
Just to be on the platform.
Right.
And I'm like, "So I don't get exclusivity, but you still want me to pay. And then even though I click on the lead, you're still going to make me pay for it, even though you're going to give it to other people." Like I know how your system works.
Right. Which we will dive into that in a moment.
Yeah. So, and he just gets more angry with me. And he said, "Well, what's it going to take to get you to change your mind?" I said, "Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach out to all the people that I know who own and operate businesses, and I'm going to ask them about you. And if I get a good report, tell you what, I'll sign up." So I did. This afternoon, or today, I sent out the bat signal.
Yes.
And I didn't ask in any sort of leading way.
No.
I literally, I'm gonna pull up the post right now. Hang on.
Okay.
Because we're gonna have to go through this thing piece by piece.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Okay, so here's what I said. I said, "Who has used Angie's List to get leads? ? What has your experience been like?" I think that's probably the most vanilla way I could have asked that question.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm literally asking for feedback, and I want to know what people who have used them, what their experience has been like.
Yeah.
I have never gotten so many comments in my life.
Yeah, it was
so
quite a few.
Let me, before we get into this, it's a freaking dumpster fire.
Yeah, it is.
Like, and here was what this guy told me today. He goes, Well, I don't understand why you're not interested when there's over 2 million people on our platform every day.
All right, let's talk about this. So, I know a few things about Angie's, and now it's Angie's Leads. It used to be Angie's List.
Okay.
It's now called Angie's Leads.
Okay, they changed the name.
But
they also incorporated Home Advisor.
They bought Home Advisor.
Right.
And so then that's whenever they changed it to Angie's Leads. So here, I'm going to show it to you from a consumer side, and I'm going to show it to you from a contractor side. So
before that, can we play the? Let's just go ahead and kick it off with.
Okay. Well, here's how we feel about it.
Yeah.
Right. Here we go. Yeah. Here we go. There it is.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah. So that's perfect.
Let's burn it down.
Let's burn it down.
Yep.
So here's the thing. If you're a consumer and you think, okay, let's use pest control for an example, because here we're just putting it out there. So let's say that I've got a rodent problem, and I go and I search and I determine, oh, here's Angie's. I'm going to find the best contractor that I can find, because Angie's tells me that they have the best contractors on their platform.
Right.
Right? The best contractors in your area. So here's what we need you to do. Fill out this form. Tell us what you need. And we will have a contractor, one of our vetted contractors, call you and get you taken care of. Right? That's how that works. From a consumer side, okay, whatever. Now, let's flip it around for a minute. So for a contractor, here's the process. If you want to be one of their vetted contractors on their platform, that is someone that they are telling the consumer is the best in the network in the area.
Right.
There's one very simple thing that you have to do. Pay them. That's all you have to do. To be a contractor on their platform, you have to pay them this $280 fee. That is the barrier to entry to be one of their vetted contractors on their platform. Okay?
Right up there with prostitution.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So here's how that works. Angie's Leads gets a lead from a consumer that comes in. We just talked about that.
Yep.
And they send that lead to as many contractors as they can possibly send it to.
Yeah.
And that lead, they're going to charge you, like, let's say it's a rodent job. I don't know what a rodent job cost on Angie's. I'm guessing
there's a massive spectrum.
It's a range.
Right.
For rodents, I bet it's up there a little bit. I'm betting it's a $7,500 lead, most likely. And they're gonna send that to 7, 8, 9, 10 contractors.
Yeah, and let me just say this real quick, just so everyone has perspective. Like when I say it has a massive spectrum, I've written tickets for rodent jobs anywhere from $55 to $30,000.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's your range.
Yeah, and you have no idea when you get that lead what it's actually.
What am I dealing with? I have no idea.
You have no idea. And
that was the other thing, man. He's like, aren't you tired of driving around and looking at jobs? I was like, I don't have to do that now.
Right. No, I'm not doing that. So here's what you have to do if you're a contractor and you get one of these leads that come through. You as a pest control get a rodent lead. Here's what has to happen. You have to stop what you're doing immediately and call that lead.
Yeah.
Because if you don't,
it's a race.
One of those other 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 people are going to call them first. And if I've got a rodent problem, guess who I'm going to hire? The first person that can get there.
Pretty much.
You know? And I believe as a consumer, this is one of their vetted contractors. Right?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't I hire whoever calls me first?
Let me ask you this. I mean, like, and people jump in on the comments on this. I mean, like, if I told you that I am sending you a vetted contractor, what would you assume that they have done on the back end to make sure that they're vetted?
Great question.
Because I would think at minimum you've probably run a background check.
You would think, yeah.
At minimum. At minimum.
And if it is at minimum, and then I think that if it is a niche industry that requires a license, like HVAC, for example.
Right.
Maybe you would check to make sure their license is up to date.
Which
right?
we've run into that with some of our friends recently, where they were using people that lied to them
right
about their licensing.
Exactly. So here's the thing, that as those of you that are homeowners that are listening to this show right now, I want you to understand something. Whenever you give your information to Angie's, they are not, or Home Advisor or Porch or Thumbtack or any of these what we call aggregators, they are sending that to multiple different people. And you are probably going to get multiple different, like 7, 8 potentially phone calls back.
Yeah.
And the contractor, it doesn't matter if you call that person back. Guess who pays for that lead? You do. Every single time. So that $7,500 lead, whatever they're charging you for that, it doesn't matter if you contact them. You're still going to pay that every single time.
I know. Like this is the problem. Is that's what I tried to tell this guy. Is like, I've used your service before.
Yeah.
And I found it lacking.
Sure, exactly. I mean, I had a guy tell me one day, he did insulation. He told me that he got a lead from Angie's Leads for weather stripping around a person's front door. And that person lived 20 miles away from where he is.
Yeah.
And he was going to have to pay $50 for that weather stripping lead. And he said, first of all, I don't do weather stripping. That is not I had to fill out a profile.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say weather stripping anywhere on there. And part of the reason I don't do weather stripping is because it will cost me more dollars to get the weather stripping, go drive 20 miles one way, do the weather stripping job, than I can charge them to begin with. And now, guess what? I got to pay a $50 lead on top of that. This is
money.
Yeah, it's highway robbery is what it is. So Angie's List and Angie's Leads now, they're a lead aggregator that charge differently than you as a consumer think they do probably. So I love the question that's put out, and you put it out in a couple of different places, but one of them is on a local contractor network. Then, and you've all heard, if you watch our show, we put it on the contractors network.
Yeah.
And you ask the question, like you said, who's used them and what is your experience? But it's not leading, just a simple question.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of responses.
I'm just going to, let's for fun, I mean, and to not be, because we have our own opinions about this, but like, here's the thing is Angie's List, Leads, whatever they want to call, like, they probably just need to drop the Angies altogether and rebrand, because business people who have been doing this for a while can't stand them.
No, they cannot. And it is clear.
Yeah, it's like not even close. Like, I could read you like the one comment that's not hateful.
Yeah.
And it's not even like positive.
No.
So, I mean, it's easier just to kind of go through the list because none of them are positive.
Right.
Like, and I kept waiting. Like, I was like, surely there's someone on here who's just been killing it with Angie's. Nobody.
No.
I mean, so I'm just going to start here at the top. Ray says, don't. LOL. Yeah. Terry says, don't do it. Worst return on investment. Joseph says, horrible. Bad leads. Depending on the category of work, leads can be around $200. So it's going to cost $200 per lead.
Right.
Aladamir, stay away. Betty, don't. Geo.
This was my favorite one.
Basura.
Which I didn't know what that meant because I'm not, bilingual. But
it means trash.
It means trash.
Yeah. Eddie says scam. Which, by the way, we may have to just screenshot some of these just so people don't think that we're making them up.
Right. We actually have some here that are full sentences, but so far people are like, I'm not even going to give this my time. Yeah, it's just one word.
No, you're done. Just be done with this. But we also need to protect people's privacy.
Sure.
Because these are closed groups. Will says don't. The entire company needs to be shut down. Here's Jose. He said, I did it for 2 years almost. A lot of scams, but it did bring me some money last year. But I only liked it when they were paired up with Handy. I think Handy is another app.
Sure.
They would sub me decent work, but they stopped that already. Now it's nothing but scam leads.
Yeah. Okay. So what he's talking about there is this happens. They will feed you some decent leads to begin with, and then over time they get worse and worse and worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Matthew just posted a picture of a siren flashing. Anto, don't. Period. Waste of money. Period. Chris, worst decision I ever made as a business owner.
Wow.
Once you give them your contact information, get ready to get bombarded with phone calls about Google ads and all other kind of solicitation. They sell your information to the highest bidder.
Wow.
Yeah. And then a couple people responded to that was like, holy crap, that's why my phone's getting blown up all the time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Johnny says, just read the reviews. If you go with it, you're on your own.
Like, look, do your research, and if you really want to do it at that point, good luck.
Let's see. Maria, that's what I used to start my business. I think this is the one that's like slightly like not negative.
Yeah, this is the only one.
Yeah, it says, that's what I used to start my business. It was Home Advisor at the time. You have to know how to use it wisely in order not to get screwed over with ridiculous charges. So the best thing that you can say about it is, it took me a long time to figure it out, but I was still getting screwed with ridiculous charges.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there's a couple people who replied to that. It was like, yeah, same experience.
Yeah.
Matthew says, if you're looking to spend money, just send me a check every month, and you may get the same number of usable leads from me as you would from them.
That one is so good. Send me money. I'll
send it to me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good.
Let's see. Shelby says, don't do it. I'd have been better off just lighting thousands of dollars on fire. About 90% of their leads would not answer calls, texts, or emails. Of the small percentage that did answer, most said that they had no idea how I got their info.
Oh, my goodness.
Of the handful of leads that were legit, those customers were expecting bottom dollar pricing because Angie had given the same lead to a dozen other companies.
Yeah, so here's what happens. So I mean, when you think about it, if they're sending it to a dozen other companies, someone is out there and they're just going to trash the dollar amount.
Yeah.
Like that, let's say you had a rodent job and it was like a $50 job, like something pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Someone's out there doing it for $15.
Yeah.
They're going to.
Just because
they who knows?
Yeah.
They're not, I'm not going to say that. Their practices are different than yours. You know? I mean, someone's going to do that. And so what Shelby's saying here is like, look, I can't compete with a dozen other people that are not, they're not good. They're not vetted correctly, you know?
None of them are vetted.
No.
Let's just be honest. None of them are vetted.
No, they're not.
Like he was ready to sign me up today.
Yep.
He didn't know who I was.
Nope.
He didn't know if I had a license. He didn't know how long I'd been in business. He didn't know anything about me.
No.
Just sign me up.
Yep.
Right now. You want to pick up the feed?
Yeah, okay. So
because the next one's actually one of my favorites.
Yeah, well, the next one just says trash.
Yeah, that's it. He went with the English version.
Yeah, exactly. This would be me. I can speak English sometimes. The next one from Mike says, too expensive and the leads fall through every time.
Well, that's not helpful.
No, it's not helpful at all. Okay, the next one says...
this one's actually pretty informative as to how the system works.
Yeah, it really is. Be mindful of clicking accept on things. Okay, I'm going to make sure I read that correctly. Be mindful of clicking accept on things without much information and no way of getting a hold of the client. You still have to pay. A lot of those I've come in contact will try to lowball on jobs. Don't click on opportunities if you're not 100% sure it's doable. They're way more expensive. I will say any issues that we've had requesting refunds on things, our reps have been pretty good about handling it. Honestly, I like cold calling better.
Which is like the bottom rung of sales.
Yeah.
No one likes cold calling.
Nobody does.
So you'd rather cold call
Yeah.
than get a lead from Angie.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's that just says everything right there.
Yeah, that's really, really bad.
No one in the history of anything likes to cold call.
No, it's why would you?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like talking to people that I don't know.
Yeah.
And I like talking to people.
Yeah.
So
really if I could sum this comment up, be mindful of getting completely screwed.
Yeah. Okay, we got our buddy Ryan A. Duddle just said, no, shoot me in the face cold calling. Exactly. Nobody wants to do it.
But you could do Angie.
but Ryan, there's this option.
There's another option that's way worse.
It's way worse. Oh, jeez.
You could cold call while paying for the privilege.
Exactly. I paid for this.
And you're up against 10 other whores.
Exactly.
Who are way better looking than you.
Exactly. They charge a lot less, too. Oh, my goodness. All right, the next one says, doing your own marketing versus buying leads is the same as building your brand versus building your brand.
Yeah,
so
they're asking you to pay them so that they can increase their
brand
footprint.
That's right.
In the digital space.
Right.
If you don't know that that's what's going on, let me be the first to tell you. You are paying them to increase their marketing footprint.
Yeah, exactly. So just do your own marketing. That's kind of the deal.
Yeah.
Next one says, hit me up. I'll make you a lot of money without wasting money on Angie. So who knows what he does. The next one says, do the Angie ads. They're better leads. That is actually interesting. But guess what you're going to do for those? Pay more. I mean, if you've got specific ads that you're doing on top of everything else, you're going to pay more.
Yeah.
The next one is one of my favorites, actually. It sucks. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah.
So what does Angie's List do that are so bad? This is
actually
a question.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just really curious.
So what does Angie's List do so bad that they should change?
So
there's only one response to that question, and it says they never give you good leads, only small jobs, very small, not worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, I mean, like I think that's one aspect of it.
Oh, So the person that asked this question is someone that we know, and he's genuinely curious, and I know why. But at the same time,
probably because he's never used them.
Probably never used them.
Yeah,
probably never had to.
I'm actually going to ask him. I'm going to reach out and ask him if he's ever used them.
Yeah, great question. All right, so had some leads coming from them, but nothing materialized in actual work, so I quit. The next one is someone just laughing.
And then they've got like...
Then there's like 7 other things here. Some of them I can't say. One of them said, scam bro, get out there and work it. It doesn't come for free. Bust your rear.
Yeah.
And so...
We're editorializing for the internet, yeah.
Yeah, and I can't read the rest of this. So I'll just skip.
Yeah.
So the next one from Elvira says most of their leads are fake or scams.
That's a pretty that's a heavy accusation.
It really is. I don't know that they're fake. I've never heard that they're fake. I've never heard that they're scams. I don't know, but I do know that.
So like when I have used them in the past, the leads weren't fake.
Right.
They were just tire kickers.
A lot of tire kickers. I mean, because here's the thing: if you're,
and I'm not saying that tire kickers are bad.
No,
but like when you have to pay to talk to a tire kicker,
yeah, that's tough.
I mean, that's tough. And like when the person that sold you the privilege of getting those leads told you, like, we have really good leads. I'm ready. I've got one for you right now.
Right. I'll hand it to you.
Yeah. I mean, it's like look, I'm not a fish.
Right.
I'm not an idiot. But
right.
Apparently there's, we've all been duped by this same guy. Apparently.
Right. And so I've even got a question about that right there. I mean, he's sitting here saying, hey, Craig, I got a lead for you.
Yeah.
What about those other people that paid them to give them the leads?
Yeah.
They didn't get that lead. Why are you getting that lead?
Yeah.
You haven't paid for anything, but they're drawing you and they're enticing you with something.
Yeah.
It's just
here's like the weird psychology of this, right? I mean, like, he's calling me, trying to convince me that their platform is so good.
Right.
If it's so good, I should be hearing from these people who are now berating them openly on the internet about how great it is, and I'm just missing out because I'm not getting the leads that they're getting.
Yep.
If it's so great, I should be seeking them out.
Oh, yeah.
Not the other way around.
Correct. I mean, this is a huge national company.
Yeah.
Like they're massive. I mean, it doesn't matter what niche you put in, what industry
like, here's
you're
the
looking
thing,
for. They're showing up.
When they got started, they had a great concept.
They did, but they lost their way.
They ruined it.
Yep, they did.
They absolutely ruined it. Well, I don't think it was Angie. I mean, I think she sold it, and other people took over and ruined it. But anyway,
yeah,
we can carry on.
There's a couple more here. Don't use it.
That's generous. A couple,
right? Don't use it. They never give you any good leads. The next one says,
dude, I love this one.
Yeah, 21 leads. One was valid.
One out of 21.
This is and guess what they did with those other 20? They paid for them. They had to.
Yeah.
So 21 leads, one was valid. They would only credit the first 4, then said I was asking for too many credits and wouldn't credit the others. I even drove to the address they sent and door knocked and took video of walking to the door, the address, and the customer saying they did not call or request anything or anyone, and it was $8,000 in the trash.
Jeez.
$8,000.
$8,000 for
one lead.
20 leads.
Yeah, so you do the math. I mean, these are high dollar leads.
That's
I don't know
$400 a lead.
Yeah. I don't know what his industry is, but I do know that is ridiculous.
I'm sorry. There is not a lead out there.
No. Because this is not closed business. This is not closed business that they are sending you.
Yeah,
they did not take this lead, vet them, go to their house, give them a bid, tell them, look, we're going to come to your house on Thursday and complete this job. Yeah. They didn't sell this. For $400, I might buy that if it was sold, but it's not sold. This is an opportunity.
Yeah, and before we continue with the rest of the comments, because there's many more.
There are many more.
Why? Some people may be asking, like, why is this relevant to homeowners?
Right.
Here's what you need to know. Is those that are participating on this platform are not your local, qualified, skilled local businesses.
Right.
They are those that can afford to waste money on $400 a lead.
Uh-huh.
And they're playing a different game. It is not the people who have spent years crafting their skill and wanting to serve their community. It is a different kind of business that you're getting on here. You're not getting your neighbor's business.
Yeah, and I want to piggyback off that because I don't think that a large company is a bad company.
Not necessarily.
I mean, there are a lot of companies out there that have grown because they're actually really very good.
Sure.
However, there's a lot of people who grew their business out of their shop, right? And once they got to a size that was pretty attractive to bigger businesses, they acquire them.
Yep.
And why wouldn't you, as a small business owner, if you've got a business that's worth $8 million and someone's willing to pay you $8 million for it, guess what?
Walk away.
I'm done. I'm done driving to people's houses for $400 leads, right? I'm not doing that. I'll take $8 million and I will feed my family for a long time, right? So this happens all the time. But I think that the thing that I want our homeowners to know is when you give your information to Angie's or Home Advisor or Porch or Thumbtack or any of these that are aggregators, you will not get top quality contractors calling you. It just is not going to work that way. It won't happen.
Yeah.
Do your research. I mean, don't just give your information out to people anyway. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You know, do your research. Find people that are good, reputable. You know, ask for licenses if it's an industry that needs a license. Like, do your own background checks on these people. You know, because I promise you, Angie's is not doing it. So, you know, I just on Facebook, I titled this, you know, like our experience with Angie. It's not good, people.
Nope.
And it's not just us. It's like all of these people that we didn't even read all of the comments, but they're more of the same, right?
I've got more.
Do you want to keep going?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's keep going.
No, the people need to know.
Yeah. So Ryan also commented here. This is why roofers pay people $300 to $500 a lead if they get to quote the job.
Yeah.
If they get to quote the job,
if they get to quote it, yeah.
Like, that's the thing is, like, I don't mind coming. If I get to quote the job, I will pay you for the lead.
Yeah.
But if I don't ever get a chance to actually talk to the person, why would I pay you for that?
Yeah.
But that's what Angie's is asking you to do.
And like, I think like people need to understand, like, you know, your time in the field is your most valuable time as a business owner. And so, like, if you are, you know, you team yourself up with someone like Angie's, your expectation is that there's going to be a massive quantity as well as quality, because that's what they promise you.
Right.
And so when you show up to someone's door and it's like, I've never even been on that platform, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, all of a sudden you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
What did I do?
Sure.
I've now committed myself to something that is obviously going to waste me hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Like the guy we just, what did you say? $8,000?
Yeah.
Down the drain for nothing.
Nothing.
Like one lead that came through. I guarantee you that lead was not $8,000.
No.
It didn't. So like he's just out $8,000.
Right.
It's spinning his wheels on 20 conversations that generated nothing. So but they're over here on the back end is like, no, you're just using the platform wrong.
Yeah, and see, the thing is, like, a lot of these guys, they go out and they start their own business because they're genuinely trying to do a great job. I mean, now don't hear me say that every small business owner is good at what they do, because they are not. We all know that. However, a lot of people that start their own business do so because they worked for another business and they learned what they were doing. They're like, you know what? I'd like to do this on my own. Well, guess what? A small business owner in that situation, they have to figure out how to grow their business.
Yeah.
They got to find out where their leads are going to come from. And Angie's is sitting here going, hey, we'll give them to you. Just pay us a little bit. It's just a little bit for every lead.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking, you know, a lot of them are $50 to $100.
Well,
for a lead. It's not that big of a deal.
On the phone today, this guy was telling me, he's like, no, they're all like $20.
Well,
they're all like $20. And I'm like, I know that that's not true.
Right.
I know it's not true.
Right.
And we know that now because, like, we're listening to the people that have used them.
Right.
So I'll go through this because you can't see this one. I'm in a group. It's called Pest Control Professionals. It's a group. We kind of share information with each other about, you know, different parts of the country where different treatments are doing well. But we also talk about business in this group. It's very helpful. So I put it up in this group because here's what I wanted to know. I put it up in the contractors network because we've done a lot of work with that group.
Right.
It's a big group. We're going to get a lot of diverse reactions to, and I thought for sure within that group we were going to at least, you know, maybe, you know, 20% positive, 80% negative.
Right.
But it was like 99% negative.
Right.
And like 1% positive. And so I was like, okay, maybe I could take it to like a very specific niche and see what their response would be like.
Sure.
You know, like, okay, let me talk to the people who are actually in my field,
right,
and see what they would think.
Sure.
Here's what they said. Scotty says, junk, at least for me. Matthew says, garbage.
More trash.
Yep. Sue Ann says, we have used Home Advisor. I think it was purchased by Angie's Leads.
They're not wrong.
And we did not find valuable leads. We did get leads regularly, but they were not always geared towards our services. I think you pay an annual fee plus fee per lead, and that is absolutely accurate. You do pay an annual fee, and you pay per lead. And that is one of the biggest complaints that I've heard from this platform is that the leads that you get aren't, like, you can tell them the kind of things that you want to get,
yep,
and you don't get those things.
Well, like I said, we had a guy I know that does insulation, and he got weather stripping, and he didn't do that. And by the way, the follow-up to that is he called him. He spent 2 hours on the phone trying to talk to customer service, get his money back on that.
Yeah.
And the best they could do was give him 50% back.
Yeah.
They did give him 50% back, but they were like, no, you're still going to have to pay for it.
But it's nuts to that, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, what's your time worth? 2 hours on the phone?
Right. 2 hours. Yeah. 2 hours on the phone that he was not in the field.
You didn't get the job, and then you had to fight with him on the phone for 2 hours to get half your money back.
You got it.
Yeah. So Stacy says, Home Advisor Angie's List is a scam. Hire a pro instead. Eddie put up a funny meme that just says, don't do it. Jim says, generally junk leads. Most were just shopping for lower price after getting quotes from big companies. The others want to negotiate price. Huge waste of time and money. Socrates says, stay far, far away, block their number, tell them to never contact you again, a scam from start to finish.
Okay, so I love that. The honesty there, but here's the problem. From what I understand from a lot of contractors that I've spoken with, they call from local numbers.
They do.
And
he called me from a local number today.
Exactly. So you think it might be a potential customer, and they call from local numbers, and that number is not going to be the same every time.
Right.
So for the contractor, that again, you can't get away from it. You know?
Yeah. So this next one's actually an interesting one. It's not really like negative or positive, but here's what he says. This is Max. He says, been using it for the past year, had good luck with it, but my business is more wildlife focused, so I have more of a monopoly in my area. Because not many people do wildlife. Because not many people do wildlife exclusion and wildlife removal, my services expand as far as doing egg addling for geese population. So I think it works well if there's not a lot of competition in the area. So
okay.
He's been using it for the past year, had good luck with it.
That actually makes sense.
Yeah, if there's no competition, like, you would probably do pretty well.
I would think so.
Because you're the only one responding.
Yeah, you don't have a dozen different people you're competing with.
Yeah, and so he brings up the exact point. If you have a monopoly, which is technically illegal.
Yeah.
Obviously he doesn't have a monopoly. There's plenty of wildlife services companies out there, but probably
but
in his area.
In his area, and how many of those are there?
Yeah.
How many businesses do you know that they're the only one in the area that do that? Especially that are taking Angie's leads.
You can probably get away with that in Alaska.
Right.
Michael says, like a screen door on a submarine.
Oh my gosh.
To which Steve responded, most accurate description for Angie. Never used them, but have had friends tell me horror stories about fees for trash leads or unqualified leads.
Wow.
Matt says, holy crap, this is long. I just started my business in April and went with Angie Leads. I was excited at first because this would help me acquire jobs and get my name out there. Well, it's May 4th, and I keep my leads turned off. I paid an annual amount of $280 plus leads fees, which I was told would be on average $27 per lead, but it has been $50 to $70 per lead, and they charge you if you have your leads on regardless if you get the job or not. In fact, they charge you even if you never speak to the potential customer. That is just wrong in my opinion. I have gotten 2 solid jobs out of 12 charges and got refunded for about 4 jobs. I think the lead service should screen customers better. For example, I do not do ticks or moles, but the requests will come in for rodent control with no further details. I contact the customer and they asked for mole removal service. Boom, Angie charges for that lead. I would caution you to go with Angie Leads. They run a racket. Wow.
Man, here's the thing. Here's a person who is frustrated enough with Angie's that they didn't just put garbage.
Yep.
Or
they wrote a paragraph or 2.
Yeah, and it's well written, like very informative, and honestly,
very specific. Here's the things I don't do. They send them to me anyway, and then they charge me for them.
And by the way, those numbers are exactly what you were telling us they were. Shocker.
Yeah. So the same liar is talking to everybody else.
Yep.
All right. Christopher says, run away, far, far away. Go to Thumbtack. Thumbtack is an app.
Thumbtack is another aggregator too, though. Like
Yeah.
it's one that I've mentioned. They
Have you checked them out?
I mean, I just know I don't know nearly as much about them. I know they're not as big as Angie, so they may have better services. But again, they're an aggregator. They're doing the same type of thing that Angie's is doing.
What a horrible thing to have to say about something. They're not as big, so their service is probably better.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. Jason says, having an optimized Google business is good as well as trying out Google Guarantee. What's Google Guarantee?
Okay, so Google Guarantee is you can pay Google to put a little green star.
Oh, is it like the blue check mark on Twitter?
Correct.
Okay.
It's like basically but the thing is, like, Google does do some background checking on you at that point. Like you do have the people that are Google guaranteed are at least vetted in some ways. You're still paying them to put you as Google guaranteed. They're not going to the best. They're not actually looking for the best people and going, hey, we're going to put you up here because you're awesome.
Again, you're paying
You're
for
still
the privilege.
paying for it.
Yeah.
But they're at least going to do a background check on you.
Okay, so here's Mark. Mark says, bad idea. Don't do it. They make you sign stuff, and then they don't care if the lead's good or not. They just take your money. I actually lost on using this service. F them. Tell us how you really feel, Mark.
Exactly.
Here's Steve. They should have to disclose to consumers that they only refer you to people that pay them for leads. A lot of people think they are getting a reputable company. They are getting whomever will pay for a lead, even if they don't get the job.
Sounds familiar. I think we might have said that.
We're not like a carousel here.
Yeah.
Philip Michael, it's junk. They sell the same leads to all your competitors paying for it, and you better have someone ready to call as soon as it comes in because your competitors will, and it's lot of the time first one gets it. The company I used to work for used to do it, and we had to have sales guys, and that's all they did. Let's respond to Angie's leads.
I also think I might have said that.
Jason says, don't do it.
So many of those.
Joseph, Angie's leads is the biggest scam. Rich says, the suck.
The suck. They probably meant they suck, but still.
Jacob says, no go for us. We canceled them. Melissa says, scam. That's it. Jeremy says, much better ways to get leads that aren't shared with other companies. Usually they produce leads for people shopping on price alone.
Yeah.
Troy says, I don't know, but if they call me one more time, I'm going to lose my cool. That was all in caps.
This person has clearly had it. They've had it.
You're my spirit animal, Troy.
That's right.
Jeff says, run.
Yep.
James says, not happy. Promise me 4 leads a day, not even getting 4 leads a week. Strongly recommend stay away. Trudy says, run fast. Done, do it. What a ripoff.
Don't do it, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Done, do it sounds better, though.
Yeah.
Run fast, done, do it.
Done do it. Done do it.
Run fast, I done do it.
Exactly. Oh, man. Here,
speak to speak to text. Is that what
I can't see them.
I think there's just a few more here. Yeah, 4 more. This thread is, this is Clint. This thread is sad and also very funny. Question: how big is your current list? Incredible ways to generate cash without new leads all the time. Then with new profits, invest in advertising. I think this guy runs a marketing company.
Probably.
Yeah. Rick says, Angie is ugly and her mother dresses her funny.
That may be the best one yet.
Facebook flagged that comment as potentially inappropriate.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Let's see. Adam says, door knock and leave cards everywhere you can, and maybe radio advertisements. I personally like to leave cards at the gas pumps.
Oh, interesting.
That's not a bad strategy.
Not a bad idea.
Jerry, just canceled with him. I don't recommend.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're calling me. They're losing all these customers. Adam says, spend the money with Google. Better results.
Yeah. I'll also throw one from our friend Eric, Eric G. We got this, or you got this up a little bit late in the game with him. But he wrote, from the contractors I've worked with, they paid thousands a month and didn't get a bunch of good business out of it. We have a lot of contractors in this group, so I would love to see what others have to say. So
we'd love to hear what they say too.
Yeah, exactly. So, and here's the thing, like, I think the problem is beyond all of this is there are good options out there for contractors to actually get good leads.
Yeah,
I mean, one of our sponsors for a long time has been Sustained Growth Solutions, and they do digital marketing. They help contractors get good leads, but they only work with one contractor, and that's one of the big deals with good marketing companies. They're going to work for you, not against you. So if you're a contractor out there and you're going, but how can I get this done? Call someone like Sustained Growth Solutions or another digital marketing company in your area who has the ability to work exclusively with you.
Yeah.
I think that if Angie's was sending you only leads that you asked for, only the type of leads that you want, and you're the only one that they sent them to, I think a lot of contractors would be a lot happier. But that's not what happens.
No.
And so we get this kind of response, and I'm sorry whoever called you, but don't call our bluff.
It's like,
we will ask.
You really want me to talk about this live on the air and then push it out to thousands of people?
For 50,
Fine.
For 57 minutes so far? Yeah. That's how long we've been doing this. 57 minutes.
And I have 4 more.
Okay.
You ready?
I do.
Okay.
I mean, I am.
Robin, and this is from a small group that I'm a part of. It's like a little consulting group I'm a part of.
Okay.
Robin says, we have used them before, and my vote is an absolute no, hands down, 100%. No. They were okay until they were bought out by Home Advisor, and after that, they charge an arm and a leg for stuff. And I also found that several different companies showing up at the same time for estimates.
Oh, yeah. So, first of all, they got that a little bit backwards. Angie's Leads bought Home Advisor.
Yeah, it's the other way around.
But the same is true. But that's not good.
That's not good at all.
That's not good. You got multiple people showing up for the same. That's not good.
Yeah. And Steve says, the worst ever, and they charged me without consent. Yeah. And someone amened that. And then Ricky says, it's worse than Home Advisor. Run. And then Sarah says, terrible. We would get a lead call immediately, and they would already be scheduled with someone else with Angie's. Tried to tell my rep that, and went in one ear and out the other.
Well, yeah. The rep is just trying to make a sale. They don't care.
I don't care.
They don't care.
I mean, like, here's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing that they are budgeted so many refunds every month.
Okay. You're probably right.
Just to try to keep people on the platform.
Sure.
And they're willing to do that to try and just keep people leading down the primrose path of like, no, we've got lots of leads coming through for you. Don't worry about it. We got lots of leads coming through for you. 2 million people on our platform every day.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but is it the same 2 million people?
Right.
Like, and of those 2 million, how many of those are the business people that are getting on the platform to like see the leads?
Yeah.
I know how these people skew the numbers.
Right.
And I'm sorry, like 2 million across the U.S. is just not that impressive.
Right.
It's really not.
No, it's not.
I mean, like, if you wanted to tell me like there's 2 million people in Houston,
or even in Texas, that might even be.
There's 2 million people in Texas on the platform every day.
That might be interesting.
That's not interesting. I mean, like, even then, it's like, okay, but like,
do you know how many industries there are that exist?
Yeah.
Do you know how many there? It's
Like
ridiculous.
of those, like who was looking for me?
Right.
One?
Maybe.
Maybe.
One out of 21. and I don't know. The thing, again, I go back to the problem. The biggest problem that I have with this is the contractors are getting railroaded in many ways. They're being told something that isn't true. That's why you got so many people against them. But honestly, like I hate it whenever there are homeowners that are getting screwed.
Yeah.
By saying, look, we're going to take your information and give it to the most reputable contractors. No, you're not. Like, you're just lying.
Somebody just commented in one of the groups. It's it's answering my question. Angie sucks. Next question. I think that's probably the best way to end.
Yeah,
I agree. Like, they suck. Next question. Like, what's the? And so, like, we just need to move on to the next topic because, I mean, we can beat this horse to death, but like, here's the thing: is every business owner that we can come in contact, and I think we read probably like close to 100 comments tonight.
Sure.
You know, and that's not even all of them. Some of them we couldn't read because they were a little too specific, and we didn't want to, like, you know, give anybody up.
Or vulgar.
Or that. Like, not a one was like, oh my gosh, why haven't you signed up yet?
Right. No, not one.
Not one.
No.
And that's what you have to have out in the marketplace is like, how can you be missing out on this opportunity? Mm-hmm. And nobody is saying that.
Right.
Yet there are still morons out there using this platform. And I mean morons on both ends. There's morons who are business owners who are using this platform trying to get qualified leads coming through, and they're crap leads. And there are people who are just fighting for the bottom of the barrel. Mm-hmm. And there are people who are going on there looking for people to service their home, and they're going to get people who are fighting for the bottom of the barrel, which means they are not interested in doing a good job.
Nope.
They are interested in recovering the money that they spent to get your name into their database.
Yep. And they're going to do it as quickly and as inefficiently as possible.
Or as efficiently as possible.
Maybe.
So that they can, like, spend 5 minutes on your property.
Yeah, they're going to do a horrible job.
This is, I mean, but like, and this is a whole other can of worms. But this is the whole issue that we've had in the past with talking about home warranty companies.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
We had a business that I worked for. Had a pest control company that actually worked for them on quarterlies, which is normal. This guy would come, and I don't know. Probably, I'm guessing like 20 or 30,000 square feet that they were going to have to, you know, spray and take care of. This guy would be on the property for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And did an absolutely horrible job. Obviously, as you can imagine, there were bugs everywhere. When we redid the bid, like had new people come and check it, when the new people came out, they were there for about 3 hours.
Yeah,
to get the job done, and sometimes they'd bring 2 people, and it would still take a long time. Like, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the difference in people that are actually doing the job that they're saying they're going to do, and people that don't.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, for those of you that are homeowners, stay away from Angie's. Just stay away from them. You're not going to get the best that you can get.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the best thing that you can do is talk to your trusted friends and family who live close to you.
That's right.
And ask them, hey, have you ever had this problem? Who'd you get to fix it?
Right.
No matter what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, and even then, I mean, like at the end of the day, Nextdoor, which is an app that I detest.
Yeah.
Because it's really just a place for retired people to air their grievances against their neighbors.
All day long.
But still a way better place to find someone qualified to work on your home.
Yeah, and you even Facebook, like HOA Facebook groups and things like that, like neighborhood Facebook groups, you can find, you know, you can put something out there. Again, it's the same kind of thing that is Nextdoor from time to time, but still, you might get...
Well, let me say this. So we do... Our business does really well on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And part of the reason we do well on Facebook is because of people who live in neighborhoods that have closed Facebook groups and like I've even had it where neighbors have a closed Facebook group for their street.
Oh, wow.
Not just their neighborhood, their street.
That's impressive.
And so you're dealing at that point with maybe 30 people, depending on the size of the street, 30 people, maybe 60 people.
Right.
And those are the ones that tend to be, and like, we're not even in those groups, but when we show up, our texts are telling us like, hey, the customer told us like that they were referred to us through Facebook, their Facebook group for their neighborhood, for their street, whatever.
Right.
And that's where people are going to find good, reputable business people to help them out.
Right.
Because they're going to those people because they're saying, who have you used for this?
And they've done a good job.
And then people will respond much like they have to this post.
Right.
Like, hey, what has been your experience with this?
Yeah.
Well, and people are just as happy to share their dumpster fire experience as they are their good experience.
Yeah.
People don't realize that. People are happy to share their good experience.
They are.
And so I gave every opportunity for people who own small businesses to let me know how great their experiences has been with Angie's List. I have yet to hear one that has been, it's been amazing. I'd do it again, and I wish I could pay double.
Yeah. It's not even close.
No.
Not even close.
The word that keeps coming up is scam.
Yeah. And whether that's true or not, I don't want to necessarily speculate on that, but the fact is,
I'll speculate on it.
The word has come out multiple times. And at the end of the day,
regardless of whether or not it's true,
doesn't matter.
What people are, it's your clients, that is what they are saying about it.
That's exactly right.
So,
for more clients.
They're saying it openly.
Yeah.
In public.
Right.
Like, you have an image issue.
Mm-hmm.
So,
good luck.
So, and like, here's how you can tell that the Homeowners Show is above the board.
Okay.
Because we could probably make pretty good money having Angie's Leads as a sponsor.
Oh yeah.
That'll never happen.
Not even close.
Like, they could throw all the money at us they want. We wouldn't take them on.
Nope.
And clearly not after this episode.
They wouldn't want us.
They'd be like, hey, could you take that one down and then we'll pay you $10,000?
Yes,
like, no.
First of all, leaving it up. Second of all, I don't need your money.
Yeah, don't need it.
I don't need your money.
So like that's the thing is like we're here. Like, that's the whole reason we started this thing, man, is we wanted to make sure that people had the best, most accurate information to take care of their homes.
Right.
And, this is something I think most people need to be aware of, because they're going to continue to advertise and let you think that they have the best people on their platform. They don't.
No, they don't. They've got people willing to pay $280 plus leads. That's who they have.
Yeah, like no one, and like that's the thing is like no one pays us to come on our platform.
No.
And so like we are genuinely curious enough trying to find out who is the best, AC tech out there. Mm-hmm. Who is the best plumber out there? Who's the best electrician out there? Who's the best designer out there? Who's the best person to help you get the best deal when you're buying a new home? Who's the best real estate agent? Like we're going to dig into that. We're not asking people to pay us so that they can then get into your pocket.
Right. Nope.
And that's the difference.
It is. Yeah, I mean, and we
which is why they piss us off to no end. It's like,
yeah, they're shysters.
That guy didn't know who he was calling today.
No.
He really, like, clearly he doesn't vet anyone, because a simple Google search
absolutely
he would have like,
they've got a podcast that's been around for 5 years almost.
Where I might get discussed.
Where it might get discussed about contractors. That's what they do. They talk to contractors.
It's my clients.
Yeah, it's
my potential clients.
Might
like this guy could tank my.
Yeah. So I mean,
I really hope he calls me back in 2 weeks.
Oh, that would be good.
I really want to text him the link.
That would be so good. That would be so good. Actually, but any of you out there that are like that get Angie's Leads calls, feel free to share our link.
Yeah.
Feel free. Be like, you know what? Hey, I do want to get back to you with a response. Let me just share this with you.
Yeah, that's what we should do. Anyone that gets a sales call from Angie's, like, why don't you want to do it? Can I send you a link?
Right.
I have something I think you need to listen to.
Don't think that we're not going to have plenty of reels that come out about this too. You'll have, if you don't want to share the whole episode, you'll have plenty of like little snippets.
That's right. Yeah,
that's right. Well, listen, thank you guys for hanging with us. We've now been talking about how poor Angie's is for an hour and 10 minutes. So thank you for hanging with us. It's been fun for us, even though it's been late. It's been good to get back together with you, Craig. It's been too long.
It's nice to punch somebody that can't punch back.
That's exactly right. If you haven't already, like like the show, subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, all the places, and we appreciate you. We're here each and every Tuesday, and until next time, we'll see you later.
See ya.